guys, so I thought that I would do a video kind of going over 6-week six-pack, kind of the experience, the results, and kind of how it went, because it was kind of a big thing that I committed to, and I'm very proud of myself for actually following through and finishing. And it was something I was very curious about when I was starting, was to hear how it went for other people. And I know it's different for everyone, but just kind of to get an overview of, how it worked out, if people got six-packs or if they got more toned and what changes they saw. And so I thought I would make a video just in case anybody else is thinking about trying it and is wondering how it went for other people. So I will start off by saying that no, I do not have a six-pack. That did not happen with this. I have seen some changes, and that's what I'm going to talk about. But if you're curious if you get a six-pack, I don't know, you might, but I sure didn't. So just wanted to get that out there first. So the first thing I'll talk about is kind of just how I did the program and how that's maybe different from how you're supposed to do the program and all that stuff. So basically what I gather, I'm not completely sure, but what I heard is that there are two videos, there's two levels. You're supposed to do the first one for the first 3 weeks and then the second one for the second 3 weeks. I only had access to the level 1, so I did that the whole entire time. And I heard some mixed talk about how often you're supposed to do it. I've heard that you're supposed to do it, 3 to 5 times a week or every single day. And what I did was I did the first 3 weeks every single day. And then the second 3 weeks, I did it 5 times a week or more. Sometimes I did it more, but at least 5 times a week. So I did that for 6 weeks straight. So I think at first I was just thinking it might be 30 days of doing the workout, because that would be 5 times a week for 6 weeks. But I ended up doing it, I think, quite a few more times than that. Probably at least maybe around 40 times or something like that. So yeah, it got kind of old after a while doing those workouts, and I got really used to the soundtrack and what she says and the order of things. In some ways that was great, and in some ways that was not so great, because the last week or so it was just pushing through because I knew I had a week left. Just because I had done the routine so many times that it was just not interesting to me. So I would start, I would put it on so I could hear where we were, and then I would put on some other kind of YouTube video over on the side so that I had something else going on, so it wasn't just, or like music or something, so it wasn't just the same routine and nothing else going on. But it is a good routine. I did enjoy doing it. It just got to be a lot, but if you're doing it the way you're supposed to with the 3 weeks of one and 3 weeks of the other, I don't think that would be as bad. So anyway, let's see. The first time that I did the workout, it was pretty intense. I felt really overwhelmed by it, but I was very motivated at that point, so that kind of balanced that out. I think if it was as hard at the end, I probably would have quit, but it got a lot better even throughout the first week. So the first 2-3 times were the hardest, and then it was already so much easier. And then at the end, I really wasn't thinking this is challenging. It was more just like, oh, I got to get through it. I was sore for maybe the first week. It was interesting. I was kind of sore in different parts, not as much just my abs. I think there was a couple days that I felt my abs, but there's also other areas because she tries to do a full body workout in this routine. So it was kind of just an all-over general experience. It got me, the very first few days, I was just sweating a lot, and I don't really know why that was the case, but then there was a little bit of soreness, and then after a few days, it really started sinking in that I was sore, and then it was just a matter of pushing through, and it got a lot easier after that. And then I didn't have soreness. I think the last 4 weeks or so, I didn't feel much soreness at all. So I don't know if that's good or bad, but I really did try my best. I upped the workout. There's 3 levels on the video. There's an easy, an intermediate, and a challenging version. And by the end, I was doing the challenging version for probably about 3/4 of the stuff. Some things I could not switch just because I only had a small amount. I only had 1 or 2 pounds. I had 2 pounds of weights and 1 pound weight for each hand. And they suggest using higher weights to create more resistance, and I just don't have those, so I didn't do that. And then some things were just difficult and I didn't really care that much about. Like one is where you're supposed to do kind of a push-up at a certain point, and that's not really what I was doing this workout for. I know it would have been better, it's just more of a workout, but it was just not something I care very deeply about, so I thought, nah, I'm going to skip that one and just do the regular version of that. But at the end, I did up a lot of the routines, and I was doing a lot of the, at least intermediate versions of everything, I think. So anyway, that was sort of what the routine was like. You can access it on YouTube, or you can get it online or in a store, wherever. And yeah, it takes about 35 minutes. And it has the warm-up and the cool-down included. So anyway, that's the routine, and now I want to talk about the results. So in the time that I did it, I didn't really change anything else, but there were a few things that happened that I feel could have contributed, so I just want to throw those out there. The first is that it was the end of the semester, so we had exam weeks and a week off in between, so I'm not sure if that might have affected my diet or maybe my stress level. I tend to lose weight when I'm stressed, or eat less. So I don't know if that affected anything. I don't feel like I was responding to stress in that way, but you never know. So I just, throwing that out there. The other thing is that I did a week of hot yoga, just because that was something I wanted to try, and that's just something I jumped into for a week. So I had a few bonus workouts that were very different from my normal routine in there. So I don't know if that could have affected anything. But those are the only 2 things. I didn't consciously make any changes in my diet. I didn't consciously change my daily routine. I still walked my dog and did normal activity, but I didn't try to do additional workouts or less workouts. I just tried to keep my normal everything else going on. So that's sort of how that went. And this is what turned out happening. In the 6 weeks, I dropped about 4 or 5 pounds. I think the weight loss is not really the biggest part of this routine. I don't know if the weight loss is something that I would attribute to this workout. That might have been the hot yoga or the stress, but it could have been just a combination of everything. But I dropped about 5 pounds. And what else? I lost about 1/2 inch on my waist and hips, which that I definitely think is because of the workout, because I know that those are areas that you're definitely toning while you're doing it. So that was great. And what else? I just felt more strong in my abdominal area, and I can see a little bit of definition in my upper abs, like the top 2. So actually, technically, if I have the top 2, I'm 1/3 of the way there. So I did see changes, and that was really positive, and that was actually more than normally happens when I do a workout routine and I decide to do something like that. So they're very, they're visible changes. You might not see it as like, my friends and family might not notice it because it's only 1/2 inch, it's only a little bit of toning, but for me it's noticeable, and that's already great in and of itself. So anyway, those were my results for 6 weeks, 6-pack. It's a nice routine. I'm glad to be done with it, but at the same time, it wasn't something that I couldn't manage, and it wasn't something that made me feel like I was dying or something like that. It was doable. So I do recommend it. I think it was fun, and I think the results were pretty good for the amount of effort you put in, and that it's only 6 weeks and it only is half an hour each day. I thought, that's still pretty impressive. So anyway, I just wanted to share that just in case anybody's curious. So thanks for watching, and I will see you guys again later. Bye!